Bill Haig Radio, Mr. Radio in Wisconsin.
When I think of Bill Haig, I smile.
Bill really knew the business. Oh, he couldn't meet a nicer human being.
Bill Haig started at WTMJ in the sales staff for radio and did an outstanding job there, quickly moved up the management ladder, ultimately becoming the station manager for WTMJ AM. He was a good leader. It was under his leadership that we really developed a strong marketing alliance with Milwaukee Brewers baseball, and he was very strong in properly marketing sports sales, commercial sales, and sports marketing as a very strong strength of WTMJ radio.
Bill Haig was at WTMJ when I came in as a young reporter, and a legend, a fellow who not only understood the value of news, which is where my heart lie, but also how to make news and entertainment come together into really a seamless package.
He was my first general manager here at WTMJ. As a young broadcaster, I saw how Bill ran WTMJ, and he ran it first with a great love of radio. He had a real passion for what we did, which I shared as a youngster, and I was really glad to see that managers have that same passion for the business. And he conducted himself in a way that, to this day, I think, well, when I'm handling an issue, is this how Bill would have handled it? Is this how he would have seen it?
Bill really did get sports, and WTMJ Radio is the sports station. They carry all of they're the flagship station for teams that are in other places, Green Bay and Madison. So Bill got all of that.
And he did a fabulous job of getting the Brewers onto the era TMJ. And I think he realized after he did all he could at TMJ that the sports side of that news, entertainment, sports package that TMJ offered, the sports side maybe was the sandbox that he really wanted to play in.
He took our radio, which had been run pretty much the old-fashioned way. You just sort of got it, you sold the rights, whatever they were, and went out. You really didn't market, you didn't merchandise. He came in and changed all that. So he brought us into the 20th century, late in the 20th century, but he did it, and he did it. He was really very good at what he did.
I always watched Bill Haig from a distance. He worked at WTMJ, and I was at WITI in Milwaukee. I knew about him, and then he moved to the Brewers, and I kind of kept an eye on what he was doing. And then later on, I ended up working for Bill when I did television for the Brewers, and he had a reputation of being a little crusty in a good way, tough, but that type of thing. When I met him and worked with him, I was very impressed. He was fair. He was very good to the people that worked for him, the announcers. He knew what we needed to do the job. He protected us from the time that other people would take from us that we could use to prepare for games, and he protected us very clearly.
He was the man who put WKTI in the air, came up with the call letters, had the backstory on that, and always had an affection for that station because, frankly, WKTI was the weak sister. AM was king, TV was king, obviously. FM was always, admittedly, an afterthought until Bill came along.
The thing I think you take away from Bill is while we're working through all the tough issues, we're in a terrific business. We're in a great business that means a lot to people, that's important in society. And so that passion and love for broadcasting, he taught me that, and I hope it's something that he's taught generations of managers to come.
He taught us and for a generation that has come after us how to market your radio rights and what to do with your radio rights, which we had just sort of opened the doors and gotten on the radio and game one the season, and you just did it, and so that was the end of it. Not with Bill Haig. Bill was a really great merchandiser, he knew how to take care of all the stations on the network, did things that frankly we hadn't done. So he brought a uniqueness and a marketing ability that had not existed before.
He was pretty innovative in the sense that he dealt with rights fees, and he always figured out a way to create a market. This is a small market. There aren't a lot of things that you don't have an endless supply of people lining up to broadcast games. Bill always had a way of figuring out how to create a market for the next contract, and I learned from that too. He created his own competition sometimes, and he was willing to take risks with that in a positive way for the teams that he worked with and the entities that he represented. Very, very astute and a real student of broadcasting on many, many levels. So certainly he deserves to be in the WBA Hall of Fame.
Bill Haig deserves to be in the Hall of Fame because Bill was the real deal. He understood not only how to go ahead and use our medium to make life more entertaining here in Milwaukee, but he knew how to go ahead and leverage the strength of WTMJ and leverage the strength of some of those great sports franchises that TMJ had on the air with the Brewers, the Bucks, the Packers, into a true statewide product. I mean, it was Bill Haig who was responsible for helping to build that wonderful network of stations around the state and then cement the station relationships. So you had 30, 35, 40, 45 stations carrying the TMJ broadcast signal of these great, great broadcasts. That took a lot of work. That took someone who understood people, who understood business, and who understood the beauty of broadcasting.
Bill Haig would like to be remembered as a great broadcaster, as a good and fair sports executive, knowing what he felt about his family. I'm sure he wants to be remembered as a great and decent friend and father. And talk to anybody when you say the name Bill Haig, and they will say he hit it out of the park on all three counts.
Bill Haig was the best station manager that WTMJ Radio ever had. WTMJ Radio is the best radio station that Wisconsin has and has ever had, and that's why Bill Haig deserves to be in the Wisconsin Broadcasters Hall of Fame.
Bill Haig's legacy has to be the marriage of sports and broadcasting. He understood it, he got it. It's because of Bill Haig that to this day you can turn on a radio in Rhinelander or Eau Claire or Milwaukee or Madison or any point in between and enjoy listening to a baseball game on a warm summer's day in Wisconsin.